Hello, this is Narain water level controller model WLC19 for single phase submersible pumps. So this can be used for any single phase borewell pumps from 1 HP to 5 HP and is compatible with all types of single phase borewell starters. So the main purpose of using this product is it will turn on the motor whenever the water level gets low, and it will turn off the motor whenever the tank fills up. So this can be used in two different combinations. Suppose let us say if you are pumping the water from borewell to the overhead tank, the levels can be the sensors can be placed on the tank. Whenever the water gets low, the motor turns on, and whenever the tank gets full, the motor turns off. That is combination one. Then there are cases wherein there are people who are using borewell water and they are pumping it directly to the sump or the underground tank. So in that case also this can be used. So what happens is whenever the water in the underground tank or the sump gets low, whenever it gets low, it turns on the motor again and again. Whenever the sump fills up, it turns off the motor. So this is the combination. So we will quickly have a look at the connections to be made to this particular product, and just an overview of the indications here. So if you are using this for the tank, you will have the water levels which are shown in different percentage levels. You have a 4-level indication for the water level on the overhead tank. Then you have motor on and the dry run indication. So dry run is sensed in this manner. So whenever the motor switches on, we have a sensor placed at the inlet of the overhead tank. So we will wait for a certain time till the water hits this sensor. So after even after the time of waiting, if the water doesn't hit the dry run sensor, that is when the water level controller WLC19 declares that there seems to be a dry run operation, and it immediately takes a call to switch off the motor. So that's about the dry run protection here. So since there are people who are using a borewell motor or a submersible motor with the starting capacitor for the sumps as well, we have made a provision for the sump indication also. So if it is a borewell starter, then you need not you can just short all the sump sensors. So but if at all you are using this for a sump to overhead tank, you can still make use of this product. So as I mentioned, this product is compatible with most of the starters available now, and we will be using Narain control starter model SPRG to demonstrate the connections to this particular water level controller. And whatever connections which we show now is more or less similar to all the existing starters available in the market. So let's quickly go ahead and have a look at the connections. So before that, we will have a look at these connections which are already made to starter. Every control starter will have the phase and neutral and the motor cables connected like this. So the phase and neutral are the power carrying cables connected, and the 3 motor cables will be connected to the motor cable terminals. So what you need to do is the starter should have its own input, and from the same input points you can draw in 2 more wires of 220 volts and give it as an input to the water level controller to connectors number 1 and 2. Then you have connectors 3, 4, 5, 6 which should be connected in parallel to the start push buttons. So we say across on push button 1 and across on push button 2. Let us start with connectors 3 and 4. So as you can see, the start or on push button of the starter will have 2 elements. It will have a capacitor element and a coil element. So this is right behind the start push button. So you have 2 elements. One element is marked in green and the other element is in black here. It need not be of the same colors in all the brands. The colors might vary, but for sure every button will have 2 elements, and every element will have 2 screws. The green element has 2 screws here and the black element has 2 screws here. So what you need to do is you'll have to take in 2 wires which should be the power carrying wires and which should be of at least 4 square mm in thickness. So 3 and 4 wires which are green in color should be connected on across one of the element of the start push button. It doesn't matter which element, it can be connected across any of the element. So we are connecting 3 and 4 to one of the element here in parallel to whatever the connection was there. So you need not remove any wires, you just have to place these 2 wires on top of the existing wires. So then we have connectors 5 and 6. Similarly, we are taking black wires. So the black wire should be connected to the other element of the start push button. So connectors number 5 and 6. Then so connectors 3 and 4, connectors 5 and 6, they take care of starting the motor. Then to switch off the motor, we make use of connectors 7 and 8. 7 and 8 should always be connected in series with the stop or off push button. Off push button is usually red in color. So if you can just have a look at behind the off push button, this is how it looks. So what you need to do is you need to connect 7 and 8 in series with the off push button. So what we are doing here is, so this was the wire, we had a wire which is going there. What you need to do is you will have to take out the wire which was coming to one of the connectors of the stop push button. The wire should be taken out. Whatever wire is taken out should be connected to connector number 7. So red color wire. So we have taken out the wire which was connected here and we have extended it and connected it to connector number 7. So then you will have to take in a new wire from connector number 8. We have taken a black wire from connector number 8, and this black wire should be connected back to the same point where you had removed the first wire. Okay. So we are just making use of one single point. Whatever wire comes here, you are disconnecting that wire and connecting it to connector number 7, and a new wire from connector number 8 is coming back to the same connector. So this is what we mean by a series connection. So once this is done, we are done with the control logic, that is switching the motor on and off. All we need to do next is placing the sensors, and this set which are of small connectors are for the sensor connections. So every water level controller will have the bullet sensors inside the package. Bullet sensors will look something like this. These are the bullet sensors. So we will quickly have a look at how to place the sensors now. So since sump is not used in majority of the cases, or you know, you are either lifting, you are making use of one particular tank. So you are either lifting water from the borewell to sump or borewell to tank. In both of those cases, what you need to do is you need to short the sump terminals. So what you need to do is you will have to take wires and short common to sump low to sump medium, and sump medium to sump high. I repeat, whenever you are using a borewell motor, you need to short common to sump low to sump medium, and sump medium to sump high. So this is what has to be done. Then you are just supposed to place one set of sensors for the overhead tank. So overhead tank or wherever you are placing the sensors, these steps should be followed. The first sensor should be connected. Every bullet sensor will have one wire coming out of it. What you need to do is these sensors can be suspended in the water like this. So let me tell you the levels at which these sensors has to be placed. The first sensor is will sit at the floor of the tank or the sun. So based on your application, so the first sensor should always be placed at the bottommost point, and the wire coming out should be connected to common, which is connector number 1 again. Okay. Then the next sensor should be placed at around 50% mark, and the wire coming out of that should be connected to tank low. Okay, this point. Then the next sensor should be placed at 75% mark, and the wire should be connected to tank medium, this one. And the final sensor should be placed at the top level of the overhead tank. This is used to turn off the motor. So and the wire coming out of this sensor should be connected to tank high, this one. So I repeat, common sensor will always be placed at the floor of the tank or sun. Then 50% mark should be connected to tank low, 75% mark to tank medium, and 100% mark to tank high. So once these sensors are done, you will be having one dry run sensor also inside the package. So dry run sensor looks something like this. It will have two wires coming out of it and two screws. So this has to be placed at the inlet of the overhead tank or the sump. So wheresoever you are connecting it. So how this has to be placed is, let us assume my finger is the inlet pipe. So this sensor has to be placed on top of the inlet pipe like this. Okay. Once placing this is a flexible sensor. This can be bent and you can tag it along. So the water coming out of this inlet should fall on these two screws and then only enter the sump or tank. So by placing this, whatever water is coming out is touching these two screws and entering the tank. So that's how the sensor detects the water condition. And the wires which are coming out of the sensor, one of the wires should be connected to common of the dry run sensor, one of the wire of the dry run sensor should be connected to common, and the second wire should be connected to dry run point, which is the last one. So these are pretty much the connections. So then we will quickly have a look at the operations. Now as I mentioned, there is a power on and off switch here. So even if the power is off, or even if the water level controller is off, you can still operate the starter manually. So we will now be demonstrating the water level controller now is off. We can still operate the starter manually. So this type of combination is made just in case you want to operate the starter manually, and if there is any issue with the product, you can anyways keep it off and you can still manually turn on the starter. So once this is done, so if the water level is on, this is how the lights look like. As soon as you switch on, all the lights or the LEDs blink for a while, just indicating that all the connectors are right. And once that is done, it will start showing the levels. So right now we are just considering the tank indication. So whenever the water in the overhead tank gets low, so whenever the water is not touching the sensor, the light doesn't glow. So one thing I forgot to tell is the 25% light. This 25% light will always be off. It will turn on only when the tank is empty. That is, whenever these three lights are empty, that is when these three sensors are empty. This you can consider it as a tank empty indicator. So this will glow only when the tank is empty. So right now let us see the water levels coming down. So as soon as the water level comes below 50% mark, you can see the motor switching on. Okay. So the motor switches on right now. So as soon as the motor switches on, you can see the motor on indication, and the tank empty indication is glowing only because the level is low. So once the water hits the dry run sensor, you can see the flow indicators. So this is how the flow indicators glow once the water hits the dry run sensor. And as long as the water hits the dry run sensor, the motor will continue to run. So if the water doesn't hit the dry run sensor after 2 minutes time also, that is when the water level controller switches off the motor as the dry run condition. So let's now see, since the motor is on, the tank starts filling up. So once the tank starts filling up, you can see once the tank fills up, that is when the motor turns off. The tank filled up and the motor switched off. So this is operation number 1. Operation number 2 would be, suppose let us say the water tank is half full and you decide to fill up the tank. In that condition, what you can make use of is a need button, which is provided on top of the controller. Pressing this need button will manually switch on the motor, and it will automatically switch it off when the tank fills up. So I'll be pressing the need button now. Pressing the need button will switch on the motor. So it will start filling up the tank, and once the tank fills up, it will automatically switch it off. So this is how the operation is. So this is more or less everything about Narain water level controller model WLC19. If you have any queries, you can contact us on 9972243774. I repeat, it's 9972243774. Also, you can browse our website for more information about our other products. Our website address is www.narainelectrics.in. So you can also shop for all our products on our website as well. So we have an online store which is open now on the website. So our website address is www.narainelectrics.in. Thank you for watching this video.